it's not required, as per Maurice's feedback here. Let's get the audio set up. Alright, I think we are about ready to go here. In our previous session, the players got the hover upgrade. So they will be experimenting with a new mode of movement today. And we're going to be cutting in half the remaining amount of game. Our players are going to be completing about half of what is left. We will be exploring the second to last and part of the last zone. But of course, we will still have the epic final battle to come next week. Our players are just loading up their save files, and we should be starting in just a couple of minutes. We can see a disparity here in the players' times on their load data. We've seen someone in 90, they have been pretty close here. I think that they've been trading some victories here in a few of these races. Their save file times are within 2 minutes, although it is important to recognize that because a game over sends you back to reload your save, this is the time minus any time that you died and reset. So it's not necessarily a good indicator of how long the players have actually been playing. Although someone in 90 have done pretty well, I think, as far as survival is concerned. I think both of them have had about the same number of deaths. We have seen from Muir and Spritz a couple of pretty harmful deaths, to create a new phrase. We particularly saw some big losses of time in the previous goal. And I believe Muir missed out on the second race, but did make a comment that they spent a lot of time in the lava zone just taking deaths. The lava zone has a pretty nasty segment where the player has to go through a couple of dungeons without the opportunity to replenish Sophia's health, and it's unsurprising to find that players have taken some deaths there. Just waiting on our last player to ready up, and we'll be ready to go. Looks like we'll be starting pretty much right on time. Just waiting now for Nighty to punch in his dot ready, and we'll be moving along. This wasn't the button I meant to hit. There is the last dot ready. Our race will begin in a few short seconds. To catch our viewers up, in the previous session, the players had explored the 4 different areas of the underground world. The cavern, the water, the plant, and the lava zones. In the previous session, they went back to explore the water and the cavern zones again, and unfortunately, our beloved elder sister has been captured by the mutants. And so now our hero is journeying off with his mother, who is apparently alive and has possessed his necklace, and so is giving us guidance in lieu of our sister Elfie. We can already see our players using their new upgrade. They now have the hover ability. By jumping into the air and pressing the triangle button, they can fly for a brief period of time, but enough to definitely to get some vertical movement, which they have been sorely missing for so long. Pretty much this puts everything into their reach. This is the last of the upgrades they get in this game. They now have the ability to acquire any of the power-ups that they left behind in earlier zones. I think Nighty might be slightly confused. He says that he's got to get the hover components from the terminal, but he very clearly already has those as he's using them. Thankfully, he does have a little pip on his map telling him to return to the entrance of the lava zone. Now, something the players could choose to do, although I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see any of them do it. They can return to some of the earlier areas, in particular the Cavern Zone and the Water Zone have some sections that they couldn't previously visit, either because they were blocked off by key doors or because they were unable to hover. Those contain a lot of the upgrades for their sub-weapons. Excuse me. Those sub-weapons will definitely come in handy because the players are going to be fighting quite a few bosses in these next few areas. So it looks like Muir has already made his way into the lava zone, and it looks like someone is already there. The players might not remember it because it's been a while since they've been here. But in this large vertical room, there was a cutscene that told them that they saw tracks from something, and so this is an opportunity for them to use their hover ability to climb this very tall passage. This upgrade that someone found and is picking up, it will restore your hover juice, and so the players are going to need to fly and pick those up as they fly in order to sustain them, because hover doesn't last very long. See our players slowly climbing up. Nighty has made it to the lava zone and has a very helpful indicator on the map telling him which way to go. There we go. Someone has made it through the passage that will take him from Lava Zone 1 to Lava Zone 2. We're waiting patiently for the hover lamp to recharge. That's it. It doesn't have a whole lot of juice. He is going to need to look for ledges that he can use to climb up here. Oh, Nighty sees the ledge, but unfortunately it's just not quite quick enough. So someone is pulling ahead of the others, having climbed the lava tube a little bit faster than the other players. So we've got more platforming action here with this lava, but things are very different this time around. Our players now have the hover accessory, so they're able to navigate pretty nimbly through these long hallways. And they're very thankful for that. I think that all of them have strong memories. I think Muir is overestimating how long it takes to recharge this hover component. Once the lamp is flickering, it is ready to go. Here we go. Now Muir is looking for some more ledges to climb. And making his way gradually up this passage. Oh, what happened to Nighty? Nighty has dropped back down again. I thought Nighty had already reached the top. Here we go. Or did Nighty see something else that he wanted? So you see Nighty making very good use of his force field upgrade here. It's still pretty low level. The number of pips that they have in that bar in the bottom left indicates how high level it is, and it does get a little bit better as you increase those number of pips. Although I feel like the force field is one that the players can probably survive without really spending a lot of time on it. They'll particularly want to have some upgraded lightning and the upgraded blaster. Those are two that will be of very significant use to them. We're searching for the next platform. Shades of having played Prince of Persia 3D and those huge vertical rooms where you have to use the potion of jumping ridiculously high. The good news is this is not something that the game is going to make you do again later, as Muir makes it out of the vertical room and into Zone 2 of the lava world, the final area of the lava world. Muir has been a big fan of the the homing missile upgrades. And they're serving him pretty well with these upgrades where they are. He is able to take out these flying enemies very quickly. I think the players have all identified that these flying enemies are one of the most dangerous enemies in the game for Sophia the tank. And so taking them out very quickly with with the homing missiles, that is always a benefit. So we see a little bit of platforming here from someone. We've got this electrical barrier that is sliding back and forth, and our players just have to carefully navigate over it. Nighty moving a lot more swiftly through these passages now that he has the benefit of the hover upgrade. I think all the players have really come into using this very quickly. After spending so long without it, this is a huge improvement to their mobility, which is kind of unusual because hover upgrade tends to be a pretty early pickup in the Metroid games, or in the Blaster Master games. In the original Blaster Master, the hover upgrade was the reward for completing the 3rd world out of 8. Whereas here we are, the players only got hover after 6 out of 8 worlds. Someone sees this very daunting room filled with giant lava waterfalls, but it's pretty easy to navigate through. Just has to look ahead and be ready to hover. So he doesn't even bother with these platforms, just hovers straight to the exit. And now we have another vertical room here to climb. Although granted, not nearly as threatening of one as before. There's this huge lava waterfall ahead of them, but I believe that it doesn't actually have a hitbox. If you touch it from the side, it's perfectly safe. Yeah, so you can see here someone brushing up against the waterfall and being just fine. So we have a pretty standard exploration here. The players are searching for these kind of antenna-looking things that they shoot. For whatever reason, the mutants have decided that all of their equipment is designed to interface with the tank's main cannon. An unusual situation. There's also these strange pipes. We can see them on all 3 of the players' screens. For some reason you can blow these pipes up, but they don't actually do anything at any point. And he learns that he's the only one. He doesn't know what he's the only one of, but he is definitely the only one. Someone finds a little upgrade room here and has decided to pick up another bonus for the hover. Or not the hover, the homing missiles. I keep getting confused with original Blaster Master where the H icon was hover recharge. So Nighty has found this as he shot this antenna to activate it. These nice big platforms for Nighty, easy to jump between. Looks like someone did not very efficiently use his hover there, was trying to fly directly across the room, but didn't quite have enough vertical reach to get there. But our players are still doing pretty well. Muir is down to 1/3 of his health bar remaining, but that still is that's plenty of health. As long as he's cautious, he should be fine. Nighty's getting a warning here. Head to the maintenance terminal to recharge yourself. Yeah, Nighty's down to maybe about 1/4 health. I think he's at a point now where he's starting to think about where could there be a save point. He'd really like to find one of them here somewhere. Nighty cleverly using his force field here to protect him from these flying plant creatures. Picks up some homing missiles, picks up another thunder upgrade, and Nighty's picking up a couple of health pickups. He's now up to about 50% health, so he's in good shape. He's actually pretty close to, I think Muware and Nighty might be in the same rooms now. Got another one of these electrical force fields to navigate. And someone has found an internal, has found the first of the bunkers. Is going to head on in. And this is just a little bit of a spoiler for the viewers, but this bunker has a little bit of a surprise at the end of it that we'll see if it doesn't shake up the players too much when they find it. Of course, it is the lava zone, which means that the players are going to have to deal with large pools of lava in the bunker. Someone immediately picking up that that is a room that cannot be navigated from that direction, and he is going to have to make his way around and do it from the other side. And here we see a little bit of perhaps some greed here. Someone sees this giant platform. It's covered in health upgrades, gun pickups. However, there is a catch. He is going to need to get back out. Oh, nicely done. Excellent. Excellent. Someone manages to hit the platform on the first try, so is going to escape with all of his equipment intact. Now the players do have to activate all of the antenna in order to reach this bunker successfully. So we may see some of the players reach the end and realize that they have to turn back and grab a couple more of these antennas. Someone dealing with the bad enemies, which continue to be the worst enemies in the game. We're heading through the security door here, and I believe this is going to be a bonus room. Yep. We're just going to pick up an upgrade to the blaster. Gets a call from Mother. Mother reinforces that Muware is doing very well. She's very proud of him. So with that little bit of encouragement, I think that's going to help Muware push through to the end of this goal. Now, this goal is a little bit shorter. We're only going to complete 1.5 areas today. We've been doing 2 areas for every other one of the goals. There's a reason for it, and that's because the boss of Lava Area number 2 is the worst boss in the game. So I fully expect our players to take an hour, half an hour to an hour to defeat the boss. So someone is pulling ahead of the others here, has made it to the bunker, is exploring the bunker. The bunker is not particularly notable at first. It's pretty much the same as we've seen for the other areas. We have a couple of switch puzzles here that the players will need to navigate through. We've got a couple of elevators here that it's a little bit of a maze. But as I said before, there is a little bit of a treat here at the end, which I think the players might get tipped off to when they notice that there is when they notice there's a save point. We're playing it very cautiously here. He knows his health is in a little bit of a precarious position right now, and is being careful not to take any more damage than necessary. Where he hears that little sound, that means that the door has opened and he will be able to move on forward. And there's the bunker. So Moore might be feeling pretty good here that he is so close to salvation. See, Nighty is entering the bonus room here, and is going to think a little bit about which of these upgrades that he wants. It's like Nighty's going to go for the Thunder upgrade. That's a good choice. Someone has found another room with the mutants. These mutants are a little bit annoying. They like to get bigger every time you shoot them, which is the opposite of what you hope for when you are fighting giant deadly mutants. And, of course, he discovers that the room is locked. He is not going anywhere until he defeats these creatures, and he's in pretty lousy shape right now. Someone does need to be very careful here. Not to take too much damage, or else he could take a death. And I don't believe that someone has saved since the beginning of this race, which means that a death here would be a pretty big setback. Someone using the hyper gun here really should be using a couple of grenades too. There we go, using some grenades. He's obviously listening into the commentary. It looks like he's doing all right. He does need to get rid of a couple of these mutants. At least I'm pretty sure he has to kill them. I don't think these things are invincible. It could be possible that destroying the bats was all it took to open the door. It looks like Nighty found a save point somewhere. And Nighty is going to make good use of that so that he does not have to repeat any content. Oh no! Nighty took a death! Ooh, this is unfortunate for Nighty. Nighty did take a death there, which means that he is going to have to actually repeat the last 20 minutes, including he's going to need to climb that ugly vertical shaft a second time, which I'm sure he's not looking forward to at all. Two of the mutants are down for someone. There's only one more left. Now that there's fewer enemies, I think he's a little more confident being aggressive in fighting them. And there we go. That is all the mutants defeated. Someone is going to get out of that room quickly as he can. He was not enthusiastic about what he just had to go through. Taking a lot of damage there. Someone does need to watch his health. So it looks like Nighty made it through the hover room pretty quickly there. That wasn't much of a challenge for him. Oh, no. Nighty went back voluntarily. Okay. Alright, so that's good. That is reassuring. So Nighty has the whole area mapped out, so he did not take a death. I had thought that I had perhaps missed that, but I did not. So it looks like someone is going to take another ride on this platform. We've got this room here that's got a couple of big old pickups. Someone picks up one of those icons, and that is going to restore more than half of his health. Oh, no, he missed the platform. So this is the trap. You fall into the lava here, and this one platform is your only salvation. So someone's going to jump in or out. Someone's going to jump in and pick up another one of these health icons. So once again, the challenge is jumping on this platform so that he can get out. There we go. All right, makes it on the second attempt. So someone is back at full strength, full health, maximum weaponry. There is a save point in here. If someone can find all of the, deactivate all the force fields, he will eventually make it. Oh, so Muir found the save point, but there's still a force field to deactivate. So that'll be extra motivation for Muir, knowing that there's a save point to be found there. That'll give him the extra courage to push through that last little bit, and he will have achieved safety. Here, someone has found the save point, and so it's going to be a little bit suspicious. We're only 30 minutes in. Is it really already time for a boss fight? We've got a big old room of crates here. And we've got a strange machine here at the end, which we're going to blow up because that's what our heroes do every time they find a machine. And suddenly, we've got a timer in the corner. That's a pretty good sign to our players that they want to get out of here in a hurry. So we've got a good old-fashioned Metroidvania escape sequence here. The good news is that timer is incredibly generous. The bad news is the players aren't going to be able to take the most direct route back. A lot of threatening explosions following someone, just ramping up that sense of danger. So in the best of times, your strategy here is not to fight anything. So perhaps this is an opportunity to reinforce that behavior. 30 seconds have already drained off of the clock. But someone is probably feeling pretty confident that they're making their way on out. Muir's found that last force field and deactivated it, so now he just has to make his way back to that save point and he is good to go. Nighty has jumped into the room. Here, he's looking for this platform. Alright, there's a platform for Nighty. He's going to pick up a gun upgrade and restore some health. Now he's just got to get back out. So, unfortunately, someone had in his mind the way to go, but a giant pile of junk means he's going to have to make a detour here. He's going to have to take a couple of elevators. He didn't intend to do so. 1 minute down, he's still got 4 minutes left on the clock. He's got plenty of time, but he can't spend a lot of time debating his path. So someone is going to take the most direct route. There is a convenient catwalk. He's not going to use it. He's just going to hot-foot it across the lava. That's good enough for him. Now Muir is the one trying to remember which way he wants to go. So we've got a couple of moving platforms here. We see someone is going to nimbly climb up of those. He's got 1 minute and 30 down, 3.5 minutes left. Plenty of time as he is back into the entryway. And there we go. A minute and a half down. He's already out of this facility just before it explodes. So the good news is he knows he hasn't missed anything because right now it's just a smoldering pile of slag. His solution now is there is a nearby doorway that he previously could not enter. He can just hover Sophia on over to it. And hopefully someone notices that there is a convenient save point right here. Although a convenient save point is also a little bit of a threat here because save points usually mean something dangerous is coming up ahead. Muir's found the save point, but regretfully there's still one more force field obstructing him, so he is going to have to dip back down into the facility and find that last barrier. But at least he has flagged down a little bit of permanent progress here. Hitting that save point means he isn't going to need to repeat any of what he's already done. So at least that will give him a sense of security. He sees it on the map. There is a boss up ahead, and we are already at the boss of the Lava Zone Part 2. So the fact that we're already more than halfway through the goal might be a little bit alarming to the players. I did put a time estimate of an hour and a half on this one, and that is completely serious because I anticipate the players taking at least half an hour to figure out how to defeat this boss. So suddenly we have a rail shooter boss. So if you are a fan of video games in the late 90s, you will almost certainly have played the excellent Star Fox 64. Well, we've got Star Fox 64 here. Except for we don't have any barrel rolls, we don't have any boost. We do have a couple of pretty cool weapons here, though. We've got some homing missiles, we've got some blasters. So this will be a little bit of experimentation for our players. So someone is facing off against it. We've got this giant vehicle that's got 3 arms on it, and we've got this pilot who is sitting in a very inconvenient spot. He's right in the dead center here. Seems like a really dumb place to sit the pilot because he is very easy to just shoot a whole bunch here. And someone is definitely treating him exactly to what he deserves. Sending these blast shots straight out ahead. We can see there's only 5 life bars on this boss. More than that previous boss who only had 1 life bar, but still not quite catching up with some of the more life bar heavy bosses we saw earlier in the game. Looks like Nighty has also found the Mutant Room and realizes that he is going to have to fight his way out if he wants to get out at all. There we go. The pilot is down, but someone realizes that this isn't quite working out the way he had anticipated. Turns out that the pilot was really a load-bearing pilot. He doesn't actually operate this vessel so much as he just keeps it from freaking out. And without the pilot in check, this thing is now going ballistic. It's now rotating, it's firing homing missiles, and someone is taking a lot of damage in a goddamn hurry. And there is a pretty swift death for someone. So it's going to require another attempt from the top. Now, fighting these mutants a lot more aggressively than we saw someone doing. He's already got one of them down. Despite being so big and they look very threatening, but they're really not that dangerous. And poor Muir has taken a death here. Thankfully, he did find a save point, so this is not going to be as punishing of a death as it could have been. He will have to go back into the facility and hunt around a little bit to try to find that remaining force field generator. But that's not a pretty tall order. He just needs to find some areas he hasn't explored yet. So someone taking attempt number 2 here against this giant flying rail shooter boss. We'll see if he perhaps decides to focus more on the arms now. You can destroy all 3 of the arms without damaging the pilot, and if you successfully do that, the boss has much less firepower available to it in the last stage. He has found another one of these computers. He's destroying the blue force field generator. I believe that is the one that's going to unlock the room between the save point and the final room. Someone firing off a couple of his blaster shots, but missing. This boss is pretty tricky to hit. He likes to move around a lot, and your attacks are not very big. This is one place where you realize the advantage that Star Fox has. Star Fox having a targeting reticle is a huge advantage, and also having the ability to lock on those homing shots suddenly makes you appreciate all the more that everything that Shigeru Miyamoto decided to give you before he cut off your legs and strapped you into a R-Wing. Like someone's almost got the topmost of the turrets destroyed. It's like Muir has found the last of the force field generators he was seeking. So now he just has to backtrack to that save point and he'll be good to go. Someone has destroyed the topmost of the 3 turrets on this vessel. Unfortunately, that's the easy one to hit because it sticks out so much. The other 2 are pretty tough to catch. This is where the players are posed with a big challenge. You can spend a lot of time trying to destroy these turrets and risk taking damage and losing resources to do it. Or you can just kind of go whole hog and hope that you fill the screen with enough firepower that the boss just takes a bunch of damage all at once and you shorten the fight. A couple of nicely positioned blaster shots there by someone. We're checking the map, trying to remember where he needs to go. Someone doing nicely with these blaster shots, but he's just about out of blaster juice here. Just a couple more shots to go. Unfortunately, it looks like the pilot's down. He is very close to taking out... Yep, alright, that's one more of the arms gone. This could be manageable. He does have to be careful, though. The boss gets a couple of new attacks here, including this, this kind of alarming attack where the boss gets right up in your face. That is a prime opportunity to melt it with some electricity, though. Someone's taken a lot of damage here. Now would be a great time to get out his homing attack. So this could work out strongly in the favor of Muir. I know Muir has been using a lot of homing missiles. And this is a great time because this boss is very tricky to hit. So this could be the opportunity Muir was looking for to pull out ahead. We see someone using this electrical barrier. Here's a great chance to melt through this boss. So we see we've got pretty much a dead heat here between Nighty and Muir. Both of them saving their game at this save point at the same time. I believe both of them now have activated. Yep, both of them have the final doorway open. So in they're going to go. Expecting something threatening here. Someone making good use here of the force field. The force field's going to protect him from a lot of these obnoxious homing missiles that the boss is firing. Ooh, beautifully done fight so far here. I think someone might be able to do this in a second try. Ooh, someone is getting hit in the face, but he's still together, and the boss is pretty weak. And that looks like a victory here for someone. Someone finishing much faster than anticipated. He's just going to stay away from this explosion. And he's going to be moving on to the final zone of today's goal, Jungle number 2. It's like Muir got a little bit of a lead here on Nighty. Nighty took the time to blow up everything in that crate room, whereas Muir went straight for the jugular, if your jugular was in fact a giant computer monitor, and is pulling out ahead here. Unfortunately, Muir is not going to be getting out the way that he came in. He is going to have to take a side detour here. Nighty using some side hop techniques here to move quickly. Nighty also being confronted with an obstacle here. He's going to have to take a road around. Thankfully, the pressure on these players might be a little bit on the low end. given that they just saved their game. So if they happen to fail the escape sequence, they probably won't feel too threatened. Unfortunately, Muir has found the other dead end here. Is going to have to turn around and go the other way. I worry that someone hasn't quite read the pace bin. That they need to head back to the lava area, that the seals are unlocked near the lava area. We've still got 2 minutes on the clock. Plenty of time. He's just a couple of transitions away. Oh, Muir has gone back into the crate room. Yeah, this could be a death here. Yeah, this door is locked until you kill the mutants. Looks like someone has found the final gate that will take him to the last zone, the plant zone, round number 2. Unlike all the other zone 2s, it's in a separate area. And it looks like Nighty's turn to take a shot against the boss. We'll see if Nighty is able to defeat this boss as effortlessly as someone did. So someone has entered Plant Zone number 2. This area is very different from the previous ones. Previously, we've been spending a lot of time looking for switches. We don't have switches this time. This time, we are going to have a boss rush. The players are, in fact, going to be looking for all of the bosses they fought previously in the game, and they're going to need to battle them all a second time. So this could be pretty quick, or this could take a while, depending on which bosses someone happens to stumble upon first. For today's goal, the players only need to defeat half of the bosses in this area, which means they get their pick of any 4 of the previous 7 bosses that they've fought. Any of the 7 bosses that they've previously fought. With some luck, they will pick some ones that they're pretty good at fighting, and they'll be able to done. The rest of the remaining bosses, including the second to last boss, who is guarded with a pretty nasty gauntlet. But they do not need to do that gauntlet today. That will be their final challenge in next week's goal. Alright, this is Muir's second attempt here at escaping. I think that he's whittled down all of the directions that don't take him out, which means that he's just got the correct choice left, so he should have a pretty easy escape this time around. Nighty is taking some pretty nasty hits here against the boss of Lava Zone number 2. Although he's doing some good damage here. He's almost destroyed one of the boss's little turrets, I guess you call them. Ramming attack seems to catch Nighty every time, though. He's hasn't quite picked up on that one yet. Someone has found a save point here. So the good news is Nighty has gotten rid of the pilot. The bad news is now he's got to destroy the main vessel. And Nighty is in a pretty rough shape at the moment. This might take him a few attempts to get through. There is a death from Nighty. He's probably gonna take a couple of tries to get through this. This is what I had anticipated, that this was gonna be a pretty nasty boss fight for all of our players. So here it looks like someone has found the first seal, and it's going to hop on in and discover the gimmick here is going to be boss refights. So it is the second opportunity for someone to liquidate the liquidator. He's got a flamethrower. Well, had a flamethrower. So it can do some pretty appreciable damage here. It's actually not that bad to lose the flamethrower. because the grenade launcher just has a tremendous boost to the range that kind of makes it better. Someone got it? Not seeing much on that life bar. And there we go. Someone has defeated the first boss and is going to be rewarded with a cutscene of the first seal breaking, and they're going to have a pretty good feeling for what they're supposed to be doing in this zone. One of those brightly candy-colored orbs shatters, reinforcing someone with a dopamine hit. And then here is the other treat that they get. Every time they defeat one of these bosses, they are going to drop an upgrade to one of their weapons. So the players are going to get 7 free upgrades in this zone that they can use to reinforce the favorite of their sub-weapons. So it looks like 90 is following a strategy here of destroying the bottom 2 of the turrets, which is pretty helpful. If you can get 2 of these turrets down, the boss turns much more manageable during the second phase when the pilot is destroyed. And this is, in my mind, one of the most distressing sound effects in this entire game. The sound that these homing missiles make when they hit you, it sounds kind of like cracking glass. And it's really sort of an understated sound because it doesn't sound that bad, but getting hit by those missiles mentally is really terrible. You really hate getting hit by them because they deal a lot of damage when they add up. Looks like 90 is going to have to start that again from the top. Muir is looking like he's not doing so hot, but this is Muir's first attempt, so he can be forgiven quite a bit for learning the boss in this first attempt. Muir has gotten rid of the pilot only to realize that he has only increased his troubles. And it's going to be a death for Muir, whereas someone is going to move towards his second. He's going to move towards his second boss fight. Let's see, who is someone's going to fight? Someone's going to fight the cubes again. Veterans of the Blaster Master franchise may recall that the cubes are a boss from the original Blaster Master. And with this flamethrower in hand, someone is going to be able to defeat this boss pretty easily. These cubes really just melt to the flamethrower. And if you don't let the cubes accumulate, they never really can pose much of a threat to you. So I think someone's going to find this is a pretty easy boss given his current output of equipment, of damage. He's doing plenty of DPS. So Nighty is making yet another attempt at the boss of the lava zone here. It looks like Nighty has settled on he really likes this strategy of taking out the turrets on the bottom. And looks like he's getting pretty good at it too. It's like someone let this boss get a little bit away from him. But he's still doing pretty good here. He's taken out these cubes almost as quickly as they're spawning. Which means the last phase, when they all start getting aggressive, is not going to be too bad. There we go. That looks like that was a pretty easy boss fight for someone. And that will be their second of the 8 seals broken. And it will also be time for someone to pick up another reward. We'll get to upgrade yet another one of his tank sub-weapons. So hopefully he's putting some thought into which sub-weapons he's going to want for the final exciting battle here. And he's taken out yet another one of the turrets. Unfortunately, Nighty has taken a pretty nasty amount of damage here. So it looks like someone is sticking with Team homing missiles. That's a second homing missile upgrade he's picked up. So Nighty is down to the final portion of the boss. There's not much left here. He's just got to destroy the main body, but Nighty is in incredible danger, illustrated by the fact that he just was blown up. It seems like someone has picked up on how this is moving along. Spotted yet another boss here. If he can defeat that third boss, that will be another feather in his cap and another seal broken. It's like Nighty's going to take a mulligan on that. Somehow he managed to take a dip into the lava. And it looks like he's going to go ahead and restore his health at the save point. Try it again from the beginning. Looks here like someone really would like to find a save point. He recognizes he's about to fight some bosses. And he's not feeling completely confident in his ability to defeat a boss on his first attempt. It's like Muir has defeated the pilot and he's moving on to the flying around recklessly stage of the fight. Not much health to work with here either. These homing missiles are really nasty. You absolutely can't stop moving for even a second. Oh, and Muir takes a gigantic laser to the nose. I'm surprised Muir has not been using more homing missiles here. Homing missiles seem like they would be absolutely the correct weapon for this fight. And it seems like Muir usually is perfectly happy with pulling out those homing missiles early. Unless this homing missile ammo is just low. There we go. Someone finds a save point. I'm sure that's what he's been looking for. With his tank locked and loaded, I think he'll be much more comfortable picking out 2 of these bosses he's found and ending their lives to break their seals. When I fought this boss on my attempt, I didn't even bother putting points into the homing missiles or into the force shields. I was pretty happy with just using blaster to burn through everything, through victory, through extensive firepower. All right, looks like Muir's going to switch to blaster for a bit. So someone has found a tank boss. Which tank boss is he going to fight? Looks like we are going to be fighting the first boss of the game again. It's been a while. All those juicy life bars here, and it looks like someone has picked up on the strategy, as we saw from Spritz. Get into the boss's face with electricity and just electrocute it. Just melts those life bars. Tries to do a ramming attack on someone. But someone has plenty of health to survive it. This boss is going to go down pretty quick. It's like someone's found a convenient save point here. The boss can't reach this ledge. So he's just going to finish it off with plenty of homing missiles, it looks like. And there we go. That's another victory for someone, 325. That's going to break his 3rd seal. Which means he just has to pick out one more boss of his choice and defeat it, and he will be able to done in today's race. A healthy margin ahead of the estimate being an hour and a half for today's goal. Someone decides he wants another blaster upgrade. There goes the pilot on Muir's side. The boss is now careening out of control. Moore's got plenty of health, but does he have a strategy for fighting this boss phase 2 yet? Now he's gotten pretty good at aiming at these turrets here. So he is able to take out this boss's bottom 2 turrets pretty efficiently here. Moore took a lot of hits when that boss got in close. He got swept by all 3 of those arms. I wonder if homing missiles even works against this boss. Perhaps it's not close enough for you to even catch him. That may be the rub there. Homing missiles don't work. Moore's made a valiant attempt here, but this is looking like this could be another death for Moore. Nighty, on the other hand, looks like he's in a good spot here. The boss is down to less than half of its health, and Nighty is in a pretty healthy spot himself. Someone has found his 4th victim here. It's going to be another Roddy boss. And there it is. Nighty gets the kill. The boss is exploding. Someone facing off against Turbo Chicken. One of the trickier bosses. This is really, he's so hard to hit. If he can get a grenade under the boss, he'll die pretty fast. And he's just patiently waiting for the sequence to end. There we go. Turbo Chicken is down, and then someone dies to a bouncing fireball. So unfortunately, he is going to have to make another attempt at it. So in a little bit of a cruel twist here, Nighty does have to get out alive. Luckily, there is no fall damage. Sophia has very good shocks. Alright, Nighty makes it out of the lava zone alive. Just needs to make it through to the save point, and he will have secured his victory permanently. There's the save point. Nighty is in the safe embrace of the force field, and he's going to save his game. Not clear where someone is going now. He's trying to find one of these bosses again. Isn't clear if he's just trying to find his way back to the boss he already fought, or if he's looking for a different boss because he just is not a fan of the one he just fought. Made his way here again. He's gonna, looks like it's gonna be Robo Chicken. Round number 2 for someone. Someone taking a lot of damage here, not dishing out very much. You can get a grenade under their feet. This chicken will drop. Of course, that also applies to real chickens too. Although I don't advise anybody to do that at home. That's a waste of a perfectly good pair of drumsticks. And someone is going to take another death here against the chicken. Nighty, meanwhile, appears to have made it to... has made it to jungle number 2, where he can start deactivating force fields. Now you may be asking yourself if the players are going to have to do all the refights again. Are they going to have to fight this giant flying robot a second time? And the answer is yes, which is another reason why I broke this into 2 goals, because it would have been incredibly cruel of me to make the players fight this boss twice in 1 goal. It looks like Nighty has found one of the refights. Which refight is Nighty going to start with? Looks like Nighty is going to refight the first boss of the game. Looks like he's also picked up on electricity being an excellent weapon for these bosses here. And in a few seconds, he's already reduced the boss to just their core component. Got dual warning screens here. Muir making another attempt at the Chapter 7 boss. And we see someone facing off against Fire Chicken for this 3rd attempt. Looks like someone manages to catch him in the flamethrower briefly. That has scored a quarter of the boss's health. Oh, he's just sitting there, just annihilate him. All right, this attempt is going very well for someone. And there it is. The boss keels over and explodes. So someone is just a save point away from clocking in the first dot done of today's race. Nighty has defeated his first boss. So someone has to decide which of the upgrades he's going to take. Nighty also has to make this choice. Alright, it's just a save point away here. Someone's just got to find the save point, and he is ready to finish today's goal. Here's the save point. Someone's gonna cruise on in, and that will be all it takes to get that dot Dunaroo in the chat. There is the dot done from someone to the 325 with an SRL time of 1 hour, 22 minutes, 29 seconds. Congratulations to someone for securing the first place finish in today's race. Once again, we have one more part of the Blaster Master Blasting Again race left. Next week our players will be defeating the final boss and finishing the game. And then we will be moving on to The Legend of Zelda Oracle of Seasons. We played part 1 of the game when we, a couple of weeks ago, it's actually been several weeks ago since we've done that. But we did play The Legend of Zelda Oracle of Ages a number of weeks ago. And so this will be picking up. This is actually continuing that playthrough. For those who aren't familiar, The Legend of Zelda, Oracle of Seasons, and Oracle of Ages combined together to make one game that you play as a linked game in which you trade items between two games to finish it. So we have completed Oracle of Ages. And we will be picking that up as a continuation race of sorts. If you're interested in participating, there's still plenty of time. You have 2 weeks to play through The Legend of Zelda Oracle of Ages and get a save file at the end of that game. And then that will be all that you need to participate in that segmented race. We do have another special race coming up. We're we are going to be playing on Tuesday, October 12th in the evening. We're going to have another one-off race of a game that we're not going to be doing as a segmented blind. So if you'd like to participate in that one, that is just a single segment race on Tuesday. And that will be open to anybody. Anybody is welcome to participate in that. It's a mystery game. The game will be revealed. The game will be revealed a week from today. It'll be after the Blaster Master Blasting Again, part number 5, which will be the final part. So please keep an eye out for that. So Nighty facing off against the Liquidator again. I had to wait a little bit because the boss is a little bit too far away from Nighty to actually hit it. Nighty's making quick work of this guy. He's just tanking a lot of these hits now, and looks like that life meter's almost empty. And that's a kill there for Nighty. Nighty has defeated the Liquidator and clocked in his second broken seal. That'll also be an opportunity for Nighty to pick yet another sub-weapon upgrade. Looks like Nighty's going to go for another Thunder upgrade here. We're having a pretty good go of it this time, although mostly he's dealing damage to the pilot. That blaster shot went a little bit wide for Muir. Alright, pilot's down. The boss's weak point is exposed. Although this is where the fight gets a little more hectic because we start seeing things flying everywhere. Alright, boss is getting in close. We're getting a couple of hits there, but takes a few hits. When that boss gets in close, that's your opportunity to deal some heavy damage. He is continuing to prowl looking for another mini-boss that he can defeat. Making some good progress here. Alright, boss gets in close. Muir's dealing a lot of damage here. That cycle went very well for Muir, but he is incredibly dangerously low right now. Homing missiles deal fatal damage to Muir, but he made a lot of progress in that attempt. If he can reuse those strategies, I think his next attempt might be his victorious one. Now he sees a door on the map that does not correspond to what his eyeballs are picking up. Turns out he just has to go a little bit lower and he finds it. I think a little bit of decision making here for Nighty. Does he go straight for the boss, or does he take a moment to search another path? Looks like Nighty's just going to go straight to the boss. And this one's another tank boss. Nighty decides that he wants to save his game first. I think it's probably working against Nighty's memories that one of the bosses he's going to fight could be that level 7 boss again. And I think he's really not confident of fighting that boss without a save point. There's that save point. So Nighty can save his game, and then he will feel much more confident about taking a shot against the boss. The save game locked in. Nighty is feeling confident here. He's going to forge on ahead, and he's going to see what boss could wait him inside of here. And Nighty will be facing off against the World 5 boss, I believe this is. Which, all things considered, is not much different than the World 1 boss. So Nighty's going to activate electricity. He's going to get up into this guy's face, and he is going to make things electric, boogie woogie woogie woogie. I think all of our players are thankful for Spritz showing them the way. And he's just gonna dump all of his blaster energy into this boss. Where has taken out the pilot. That wasn't a very good cycle. Moore took a couple of hits when the boss got in close. But I like what he had in mind there. He wanted to get into the middle and he wanted to shoot some thunder. Good damage there. I think Moore finding that perhaps the best strategy is when the boss gets in close to hit it with the main gun. Not bother with any of these charged sub-weapons. Now he wants more thunder. One more boss and Nighty will have completed today's goal. Unsurprisingly, we were having difficulty. I had anticipated in advance that our players would find this one boss in particular to be nasty, and I purposely shortened the goal for exactly that reason. This is one of the reasons why it's very beneficial for everybody to test your goals before you tell other people to play them. We're just going to take the death here, and he's going to give it another shot. All right, now you just got to find one more boss. Now he's just got to fight one more boss here, and he will be able to finish up today's goal. He's beaten the first boss, the second boss, and the fifth boss. So it's anybody's guess which boss he encounters for his fourth and final fight. He's looking around to figure out where he actually goes. He's found that he just needs to hover up to this ledge, so he's going to wait a moment for his lamp to recharge so he can hover up there. We're unfortunately getting hit by the boss as he does his flyby and taking a big chunk of damage. Nighty has found his fourth and final boss for today's goal. Which boss is he going to fight? It's going to be one of the Roddy on foot bosses. It looks like he's going to face off against the cubes today. But he's got a flamethrower, so he is going to be able to defeat these cubes pretty darn quick. And he was not able to defeat that one quick enough. Oh, a couple of these cubes are getting away from Nighty. And he's lost his flamethrower. He's up to grenades now. Grenades still do a lot of damage, so he's going to be able to defeat these cubes pretty quick. And he does have the added benefit of more range, which is also working in his favor. Whereas on phase 2, dealing quite a bit of damage here. This could be the attempt. We're getting some nice hits against the boss. The hardest part is just lining up where you can hit the boss with your main weapon. Alright, it's coming in close. Nicely done on that cycle for Muir. Muir getting a good amount of damage there. We're lining up a couple of good shots there. Alright, so Nighty gets to pick another upgrade here. What's he gonna pick? Force field, there's the blaster. Homing missiles. Looks like Nighty's going for another thunder here. Oh, nope, Nighty hits the wrong button. And there is the explosion. Muir has defeated the boss. Although he's not entirely out of the woods yet, he does still have to make his way to the save point. In a cruel twist, the game did not deem you worthy to be shuttled directly to the save point. So Muir is going to need to make it through 2 hostile rooms before he gets to the save point room. Muir is going to adopt the strategy of be literally anywhere but where he is right now. who are playing very dangerously here. Needs to make his way to the left-hand door as quickly as he can. There it is. He's back in the first lava zone. Needs to get back out into the main world. Alright, Moore's made it back to the hub world. Just got to reach the save point. Moore still has not saved. Needs to be very cautious here till he reaches a save point. There is a save point in this room, just needs to look a little bit to the right. There it is, he sees it, he's making a beeline. Ah, there we go. Sweet recharge. Once again, he is safe. And the rest of the goals should move pretty efficiently for Muir at this point. This is the second to last of our Blaster Master Blasting Again streams. We will be wrapping up the game a week from now. That will be on Sunday, October 10th. We're going to play the fifth and the final segment of the race, in which our players will finally defeat the evil Plutonium Kaiser, and they will save the planet once again. Of course, we don't have, we have more action coming up after that. We will have a special bonus race a week from Tuesday, October 12th. We're going to have a bonus race that is going to be a race in the evening. It's going to be a one-off race. It should only take our players between 30 and 60 minutes. A nice short race compared to some of these more difficult races that the players have been put through. That is in a mystery game, so if you stick around for next week's Blaster Master stream, you'll find out what that is. And then, of course, once Blaster Master is wrapped up, we will be bringing you one more exciting segmented race. We're going to be playing through The Legend of Zelda Oracle of Seasons. Some of you may remember several weeks ago when we played The Legend of Zelda Oracle of Ages. The games are linked together, so our players will be using their passwords from Oracle of Ages to continue in Oracle of Seasons. I hope that you will all join us for that, and if you're interested in playing along, all you have to do is play through The Legend of Zelda Oracle of Ages and complete it. I'm a little bit worried about this door directly in front of Muir, because I think I know which boss is hiding behind this one, and I think he may rage quit if he goes through it. I am extremely worried because I'm pretty sure I know which boss this is. Okay, it's not. Perhaps the order of the bosses is determined by something else. So we have Muir facing off yet again against the first boss in the game. That would be really reassuring if that was the case. So we see Muir is the only one not to use the thunder in the boss's face strategy that we saw Nighty and someone used such great effect in today's race, and that we saw Muir use in the previous race. Oh, Muir only has 2 pips of thunder. That's really not much thunder. The other issue is thunder has extremely short range. We've got pieces falling off, so Muir is definitely making progress in this fight. Well, the good news is we get to listen to this great boss music some more. I am always a fan of judging games by their boss theme music. Needs to be exciting to get your blood pumping and make you want to fight. Muir's done a lot of damage here. Oh, there we go. That was the load-bearing part. Really close here. That life bar on the top looks like it's just about to break. There it is. That was all it took. And the boss just bursts into flames. Mercifully, there are save points all over this area, so we will see Muir able to save his game here very frequently. Like Muir is going for more homing missiles. Muir is very fond of these homing missiles. So we should see some pretty steady progress here, and I think that will do wonders for Muir's mental health. That is always a challenge in a lot of these longer races. Once you've gone over about an hour of racing, you start to really have to consider how the player is going to react to further setbacks. Now, Muir does not have very many sub-weapons right now. Yeah, I would be blowing up all of these rocks and collecting as many pickups as you can. It doesn't matter how many of the pips of energy you've got for your homing missiles. If you don't actually have any of them filled, you won't be shooting any homing missiles. There we go. We get another homing missile pickup there. Something is shooting at Muir, and he is very unenthusiastic about it. You can feel the tension every time he hops with concern that it might be aiming right at him. An X pickup is another useful one that will refill one pip of whichever sub-weapon you have currently equipped. Where is the only one? Got a trio of these Gundams here. Muir is just going to avoid them. I think he's learned enough of his lesson. I think Muir understands what's going on here. Yeah, I didn't know it before, but I think that perhaps someone is right that the bosses, whether you fight a Roddy boss or a tank boss, is determined by which room you go into. But it looks like you fight the bosses in order, regardless. I think Muir's too far away, he's not actually hitting the boss. Gotta watch out for the explodey beans. I don't think Muir's even hitting the boss. Come on, Muir, you just gotta get in there. Just get in his face. There it is. The good news, it doesn't matter how much damage he takes, he will get a full refill as soon as he hops on back at Sophia. Apparently Sophia's just got a whole med kit array equipped. I think he might get to pick up another 2 gun upgrades here, which means that he should be back at maximum weaponry next time he finds a Roddy boss. Another blaster pickup for Muir here. Alright, Muir is charting a course here. Which way is he going to go? It says there's a door there, but there doesn't seem to be a door there. Convenient save point. That'll get another lock-in of progress for Muir here. Smartly, Muir waits until his health is refilled before he saves the game, knowing that the game does, in fact, record your current health. I think the players might have forgotten that they have the booster. And Muir's not going to pick up any sub-weapon refills if he doesn't take the time to blow up some rocks. Or doesn't even want that homing missile refill. He says, tanks but no tanks. Alright, there's a boss in this room, so Muir is going to make his way over there. Will Muir be fighting another Roddy boss, or will it be a tank boss? It's going to be another tank boss here. See a moment of hesitation for Muir. But if our theory holds, this is going to be the level 5 boss. And because Muir has been upgrading his homing missiles so diligently, he now has 6 lock-ons at the time. And these homing missiles are no slouch. They're dealing with some pretty good damage too. Now we've got this nasty attack where it takes out these aqua-colored mesas. That one seems to get the players, because they have a bad habit of making their first motion directly towards you. Thankfully, Muir has saved since his last boss, so he will not have to repeat either of the 2 bosses he's already defeated. We're being a little more diligent in picking up those blaster and thunder upgrades. Definitely wants to have plenty of sup weapons for the remaining bosses. I wonder if, too, there might have been some confusion on Muir's part because the first 2 bosses he fought were the first and second bosses in order. Perhaps there was some hesitation when he wound up fighting the 5th boss, and maybe he thought something had gone terribly wrong. Is he not going to do this, or is he going to do this? Looks like Muir is going to look around here. Oh, he sees... Alright, there's a save point here. If he saves his game right now, he will not have to go through any rooms if he takes a death. Alright, Muir's going to take another shot here against boss number 5. We're making those homing missiles do some work for him. And out come the mesas. We're realizing he does have hover available to him, and hover is a great way to get away from these attacks. So if those orbs get anywhere near him, just jump up into the air and do a little bit of hover. Look at electricity doing work there for Muir. We're discovering the magic of the thunder. Fortunately, no more thunder in the tank for Muir. There we go. He finds his homing missiles. That's what he was looking for. Alright, Muir's got it on the ropes. I think this is going to be an easy victory for him, and then he will be one seal away from completing today's goal, the second to last goal in this game. There it is. There's that last little bit of the life meter chipped away. Now let's just all cross our fingers that Muir finds another Roddy boss before he finds another tank boss. A couple of soothing waterfall sounds here to calm your nerves after a grueling boss fight. Or decides he enjoyed his time with the thunder and he's going to pick up another one. We're almost at the end of today's race. Once again, if you have not yet done so, Mystery Tournament 16 signups are open. Everybody is strongly encouraged to join the Discord and sign up to participate in Mystery Tournament. It is open to newcomers. It's not a tournament that you need to practice to participate in. And more importantly, if you are a newbie, you've never played, there is no requirement to submit any games to participate. Normally we do encourage the people who sign up to participate to select 2 games for the other players to play, but that is not a requirement this time around. So it is easier than ever to participate in Mystery Tournament. And of course, all of those Mystery Tournament races are going to be rebroadcast here on the Mystery Funhouse channel. So in November, please keep an eye out. We're going to have some exciting Mystery Tournament content on this channel. I know folks might have felt like this channel's been a little bit slow lately. Not a whole lot of streams going on, but that is going to change towards the end of the year. Looks like Muir has found another boss here. I think that this will be another Roddy boss, which means it'll be round 2 against the cubes. Yep, this will be cube boss. Muir's all decked out with a level 6 weapon. He will have a flamethrower at his disposal for taking out these cubes. I think this will go pretty quick for him. These cubes go down pretty quick if you catch them as soon as they spawn. We're not quite trusting this boss to play nicely. He's taking caution. Got a lot of cubes appearing here. Muir's doing some good damage. Muir's been caught off guard by a couple of shots here, so he's being cautious about about dodging the boss more than being offensive. But I think he's past the worst of it. I think at this point it's moving downhill. Only 3 cubes remain. 2 cubes remain. One cube remains. And that is it. Muir has demonstrated his absolute hatred of Sokoban. All of the crates have been destroyed. There are no more crates ever to be found again in the video game. Thanks to Muir, there will be no Sokoban in Mystery Tournament 16. He has personally seen to that. And he jumps into the giant column of light. Turns out to be a warp and not a furnace, which is good for Muir. And with only 4 seals remaining, he does a quick bit of math. 8 minus 4 equals 4. That means he's done with today's goal, and he just needs to mosey on to the save point. And he is good to go. Does Muir not even want an upgrade? Muir does want an upgrade. He regrets what he did. There's a hover. He's going to grab another hover. Muir is a very good fan of the hover. The homing. The hover homing. You use the homing missiles while you're hovering, and it just makes it nice. That's either 7 or 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a little bit tiny on my screen. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it looks like Muir has 7 hover upgrades out of a possible maximum of 8. It's like Muir's had about all of this that he can take. He's got these stupid spiders everywhere. He doesn't want to even deal with them. He knows there's a save point around here. He's just trying to remember where he found it. Wherefore art thou, save point? Muir realizes he's not going out that way. This game continues to taunt him. He's so close, and yet it still evades him. One way or the other. He goes this way or that way. One of these ways is the way he's going to get out of here. There we go. He picks up a hover refill in midair. It's going to get him out of the room. He's going to immediately open up his map and say which way. Everything is shooting at poor Muir now. Just wants to go home here. It's all that Muir wants. Take this fork straight ahead as a save point. We're going to fight another boss? I don't think he wants to fight another boss. I think he would much rather find a save point. He absolutely does not want to go into that warp. Because he knows exactly what is in that warp, and he hates it. He wants to hang a right, he wants to hang another right, and then he wants to go straight here, and he sees that brightly colored red door here. And there is a save point right here waiting for him. He is going to bask in the warm, reassuring glow of that electrical field. He's going to slam down that start button with his thumb as hard as he can, and he is going to tell it to save my progress and do not ever let me go. Do not ever let me to suffer again. Until next week, when we rejoin our heroes and we play some more Blaster Master Blasting again. There is the dot done. We're clocking in with an SRL time of 2 hours, 26 minutes, 18 seconds. well done by all of our players, and well done for Muir for toughing it out on that very nasty boss there. So that is going to bring us to the end of today's race. That is all that we have left for today. We will return to you all next Sunday, once again at 2 p.m. Eastern, and we're going to play the final segment here of Blaster Master Blasting Again. Our players will defeat the final boss, they will save the world, and they will once again be free, that they will no longer need to suffer through this exciting game. Let's see what we've got going on here. We do have... let's see. Let's go ahead. We're going to raid one of my favorite channels here. We're going to go ahead. We're going to play some Speedrun Hype TV. They're a channel that I like. So let's go ahead and raid them. They do tool-assisted speedruns. So they are a very laid-back channel. An opportunity to sit back and relax and just watch some TASes and chat with each other. So we will be back here next Sunday with the final segment of Blaster Master Blasting Again. It'll take our players about an hour and a half to 2.5 hours, depending on how they struggle with the final boss. And that will be it. A week from Tuesday, that'll be October the 12th, we'll be playing a mystery game. I'll go ahead and put that on the calendar. What game is it? That's going to be a surprise. You'll find out at the end of Blaster Master Blasting Again Part 5. And 2 weeks from today, that's going to be on October the 17th, we're going to be starting up The Legend of Zelda Oracle of Seasons. That will be the second half of a linked game race, if you're familiar with those games. We're going to be playing a linked game race of Oracle of Seasons, so our players will see the true final ending. That'll be a lot of fun. If you'd like to participate, make sure that you play through Oracle of Ages in the next 2 weeks, and you can join along in that segmented race. So that's it for today. I hope that everybody had a good time. I hope everybody has a good evening, enjoys the rest of your weekend, and I hope you'll join us here again soon on Mystery Funhouse. It's always a mystery, but we'll find out together. Have a good night.